Al Nahyan family owns a financial empire worth over $1.7 trillion, where skyscrapers touch the clouds, private jets cross the globe, and a single signature can move billions in world finance. Behind the glittering skyline of Abu Dhabi is the Al Nahyan family, one of the most powerful royal families on Earth. A family connected to a Azam superyacht worth around $600 million and palaces valued at more than $1 billion. But before we talk about the money, you have to understand the lifestyle. For the Al Nahyan family, luxury isn't simply about owning expensive things. It's about living in a world where enormous residences feel like royal cities, where cars are built around comfort and status, where private aircraft can become flying extensions of a palace, and where even the skyline surrounding them reflects the enormous wealth of Abu Dhabi. At the center of it all is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the current ruler of Abu Dhabi and president of the United Arab Emirates. And behind him stands the Al Nahyan family, the ruling dynasty of Abu Dhabi, a family whose influence has grown alongside one of the richest and most important cities in the world. To understand their lifestyle, you have to start with where that lifestyle is experienced. The palace. Qasr Al Watan, the magnificent presidential palace in Abu Dhabi, is not the kind of place you simply walk into and call a house. It was completed in 2017 and opened to the public in 2019, and its scale is designed to make visitors feel the power and grandeur of the country itself. The palace rises with enormous white facades, carefully shaped architectural details, and vast courtyards that make the building feel almost like a city within a city. Inside, the scale becomes even more dramatic. The floors stretch across enormous halls, while polished stone surfaces, intricate patterns, massive columns, and carefully designed ceilings create an atmosphere that feels unmistakably royal. Then there is the Great Hall. It is enormous, with towering walls and a massive central dome that dominates the space above it. The details are everywhere, from the floors beneath your feet to the geometric designs across the walls and ceilings. Almost every surface is designed to communicate grandeur. And the palace isn't simply impressive because of its size. It represents the wealth, history, culture, and political power of the United Arab Emirates. Which is why, for this story, we're placing its estimated value at more than $1 billion. But the Al Nahyan family's homes don't end there. Across Abu Dhabi, the family is associated with multiple royal residences, compounds, and enormous estates designed around privacy, security, gardens, guest areas, and the kind of space that ordinary homes simply cannot provide. Some residences function less like individual houses and more like private royal compounds, with multiple buildings, landscaped grounds, reception areas, staff facilities, and enormous private spaces.
Your Highness, very nice to meet you. Thank you very much indeed for seeing us.
Welcome to Dubai. This is my grandfather's house, where my father and mother and us lived here. No electricity at that time when I was born, only these lights, you see?
Oh, the lanterns.
Lamp things. And no water.
And that is the difference between ordinary luxury and royal luxury. For most people, a mansion means a large house. For a family like the Al Nahyan family, a residence can become an entire world of its own. But if the palaces reveal the family's scale, their cars reveal something more personal about their taste. The Al Nahyan family is associated with a fleet of supercars, luxury vehicles, and high-performance automobiles that can collectively run into the billions of dollars when considering the broader family collection, rare vehicles, and customized cars. And these aren't ordinary cars that you would see parked outside a shopping mall. One of the ultimate examples is the Rolls-Royce Phantom. A new Phantom can cost around $460,000 before extensive customization. And once a royal owner begins adding bespoke materials, personalized interiors, rare finishes, and custom details, the final price can climb significantly higher. A Rolls-Royce isn't designed simply to get you from one place to another. The entire experience is built around luxury. Inside, you can find handcrafted materials, extremely soft leather, carefully finished wood, and a cabin designed to make the journey feel almost effortless. Then there is the Mercedes-Maybach S680. This is another level of luxury, with a price of roughly $240,000 before additional options and customization. Long bodywork, massive rear seats, premium materials, and an interior designed more like a private lounge than a normal passenger cabin. And then you have the kind of cars that completely change the meaning of the word supercar: Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Bugattis, and other ultra-luxury and high-performance vehicles associated with the wider royal collection. Some of these cars can individually cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, while the rarest Bugattis and highly customized collector cars can reach several $1,000,000 each. For a family with enormous wealth, the garage isn't simply transportation. It becomes another expression of status. But eventually, even the finest car has one limitation: the road ends. And that is where the Al Nahyan lifestyle moves into the sky. The family is connected to an extraordinary fleet of private and official aircraft, including large Boeing and Airbus jets. And these aren't simply aircraft used to get from Abu Dhabi to another country. For a royal family accustomed to enormous spaces and exceptional comfort, the aircraft can be designed around the same philosophy, with large private cabins, luxury seating areas, private bedrooms, dining spaces, meeting rooms, and interiors finished with the kind of materials normally associated with five-star hotels and royal residences. Imagine leaving Abu Dhabi and stepping onto an aircraft worth around $450 million, where the journey itself becomes part of the luxury experience. Instead of spending hours sitting in a standard airline seat surrounded by hundreds of passengers, the environment can feel more like a private residence moving through the sky. And then there is one possession that takes this level of luxury from the sky to the sea: the Azam. At around 180 meters long, Azam is one of the largest and most famous private superyachts ever built. It was commissioned by Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan and launched in 2013. Its construction cost was widely reported at around $600 million. But the number alone doesn't explain what makes Azam so extraordinary. At roughly the length of several football fields, the yacht was built on a scale that makes most luxury yachts look small beside it. Inside are vast living spaces, luxurious guest areas, lounges, dining spaces, and accommodation designed for extended journeys at sea. The yacht was also engineered for remarkable speed for something of its enormous size. So Azam isn't simply a floating palace. It's a combination of engineering, privacy, speed, and royal luxury. And while the family can escape to the sea or travel through the sky, their greatest symbol of power remains right outside their doors: Abu Dhabi itself. Over the past few decades, the city has transformed from a relatively small Gulf settlement into one of the world's most recognizable modern cities. And the Al Nahyan family's influence is deeply connected to that transformation. Look across the Abu Dhabi skyline, and you'll see enormous towers rising from the desert landscape. Skyscrapers such as Etihad Towers dominate the Corniche, with their distinctive glass facades reflecting the Gulf sunlight. The towers contain luxury residences, offices, restaurants, and some of the city's most prestigious spaces. And nearby, the skyline continues toward a collection of modern architectural landmarks that make Abu Dhabi look less like the desert city it once was, and more like a futuristic global capital. This transformation didn't happen by accident. Oil wealth gave Abu Dhabi enormous financial resources, but the long-term story became much bigger than oil. Those resources helped fund infrastructure, investment, real estate, tourism, aviation, technology, and global businesses. The result is a city where enormous wealth is visible almost everywhere you look. But before the skyscrapers, before the palaces, before the $600 million yacht, and before the billions flowing through Abu Dhabi's financial empire, there was something much simpler: a small settlement surrounded by desert and sea. To understand how the Al Nahyan family went from ruling a modest Gulf settlement to standing at the center of one of the world's wealthiest cities, we have to go back to the beginning. Back to a time when the Al Nahyan family was not known for enormous palaces or global investments, but as part of a tribal society whose life was shaped by the harsh environment of the Arabian Peninsula. The story reaches back to the Bani Yas tribal confederation, from which the Al Nahyan dynasty emerged. And one of the most important figures in that early history was Sheikh Diab bin Isa Al Nahyan, who is traditionally regarded as the founder of the Al Nahyan ruling dynasty in Abu Dhabi. This was Abu Dhabi before the modern skyline. Life revolved around the sea, the desert, trade, fishing, and pearl diving. The settlement was modest, resources were limited, and survival depended on understanding the land and the waters surrounding it. There was no modern capital yet. There was only a small community and a ruling family whose story would eventually become tied to one of the greatest transformations in the Gulf. Then, generations later, everything would begin to change. Pearls would give way to oil. The small settlement would begin to grow. And the Al Nahyan family would find itself at the center of a transformation that would eventually reshape Abu Dhabi forever. And that is where the story of the Al Nahyan family becomes even more fascinating. Because the wealth of Abu Dhabi may have started with oil, but the power of the Al Nahyan family was built across generations. Today, the family is not simply a royal household, it is a dynasty. The Al Nahyan family has ruled Abu Dhabi for generations, and their position carries enormous respect across the United Arab Emirates. At the center of the family today is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, commonly known as MBZ, the President of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Abu Dhabi. But behind the leader is an enormous family network made up of brothers, sons, daughters, grandchildren, and other members of the Al Nahyan dynasty. And one of the most closely watched members of the younger generation is his son, Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Born into one of the most powerful families in the Gulf, Sheikh Khalid grew up surrounded by a level of privilege most people can only imagine. But his lifestyle isn't simply about luxury. It is also about preparation. Because being born into the Al Nahyan family means being born into a family where leadership, tradition, responsibility, and public service are taken extremely seriously. And when you look at the way the family presents itself publicly, one thing stands out: respect. Respect for their elders, respect for their traditions, and respect for the institutions and culture that have shaped Abu Dhabi. Even with enormous wealth surrounding them, the family continues to place great importance on traditional values. One of those traditions is prayer. Islam plays an important role in the culture and daily life of the UAE, and members of the ruling family are regularly seen participating in prayers, religious occasions, and major Islamic celebrations. For the Al Nahyan family, wealth does not replace tradition, it exists alongside it. And that contrast is what makes their lifestyle so fascinating. A family surrounded by billion-dollar assets can still gather for prayer, family occasions, and religious celebrations. Then, outside those moments of tradition, the younger generation can step into a completely different world, the world of supercars. Because if there is one thing that perfectly represents modern Gulf luxury, it is the automobile. But rather than simply counting dozens of cars, look at the kind of machines that represent the level of wealth surrounding this family. Then there is Ferrari. A Ferrari SF90 Stradale can cost around $500,000 before options, depending on the specification and market. This isn't just a fast car. It is a high-performance machine, combining Ferrari engineering with hybrid technology and extraordinary speed. And then you reach the truly exclusive level. Cars such as the Bugatti Chiron have carried price tags of well over $3 million, depending on the version and specification. At that point, you are no longer talking about an ordinary luxury purchase. You are talking about an extremely rare piece of automotive engineering. And that is the important part of the Al Nahyan lifestyle. It isn't necessarily about owning the largest number of cars. It is about having access to the highest level of luxury. A Ferrari for performance, a Bugatti for exclusivity, and other high-end vehicles for different moments and different members of the wider family. But even a $3 million hypercar is small compared with the financial world surrounding the Al Nahyan dynasty. Because the family's wealth extends far beyond what sits inside a garage. Their influence is connected to major investments across energy, finance, real estate, infrastructure, technology, aviation, and global businesses. And this is where the story becomes much bigger. The Al Nahyan family's estimated wealth and the value of assets associated with the wider family and Abu Dhabi's investment ecosystem are often discussed on a scale of around $1.7 trillion. That figure is not simply money sitting in one bank account. It represents the enormous economic power built around Abu Dhabi, its investments, sovereign wealth, businesses, and assets connected to the ruling family. And they are not finished building. Abu Dhabi continues looking beyond traditional oil wealth. The next major chapter is investment.
They've invested trillions of dollars in the United States, and I was telling them before at another meeting that we have over $19 trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record.
Technology, artificial intelligence, finance, tourism, real estate, clean energy, advanced industries, and global companies. The strategy is simple, but enormous. Turn today's oil wealth into tomorrow's global economic power. And as new investments continue to develop, the next generation of the Al Nahyan family is growing up inside this transformation. That means Sheikh Khaled and other members of the younger generation may eventually inherit something far greater than luxury cars and palaces. They may inherit responsibility for one of the most powerful economic systems in the region. And that brings us back to the contrast at the heart of this family. On one side, you have Ferraris, Bugattis, private aircraft, enormous residences, super yachts, and a lifestyle most people will never experience. On the other side, you have family, faith, prayer, tradition, and responsibility. Because for the Al Nahyan family, wealth does not exist separately from their identity. It is connected to a history that goes back generations. And behind all the modern luxury is a story about how Abu Dhabi transformed from a small Gulf settlement into one of the world's wealthiest and most influential cities. But perhaps the most fascinating part is what comes next. Because after the cars come the palaces. After the palaces come the aircraft. And after the aircraft comes the global investment empire that continues expanding into the future. The Al Nahyan story is not just about what they own today. It is about what they are building for tomorrow. And if you want to see what happens next, from the family's most incredible cars to their private aircraft, palaces, investments, and the lifestyle of the next generation, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who loves luxury, and subscribe to Luxury King Empire. Because this story is only getting started. And in the next chapter, we go beyond the family's cars and traditions.